Have you ever had that feeling? You know, the one where it feels like your life is kind of stuck on a quiet, subtle repeat? It's not some big dramatic thing. It's invisible. It's that little whisper in the back of your mind that says, hey, something needs to change. And it all starts the second your eyes open. The alarm buzzes, the day begins, and it feels just like yesterday. Because, well, for the most part, it is.
And there it is, that first move. Before your feet even hit the floor, before your mind is even really online, you're reaching for that screen. It's an automatic reflex, the real start to the daily pattern. And boom, just like that, you've handed over the keys to your own mind. To notifications, to emails, to other people's dramas and other people's priorities. You're starting your day on defense, in reaction mode. Now here's the real trap. These little, seemingly harmless days, they stack up. One by one, they quietly build a life where you're just treading water. And the time, it just vanishes. And then, maybe late at night when everything's quiet, this question pops into your head. It's the really honest one, right? The one we're kind of scared to answer because deep down, we suspect that while nothing is really wrong, nothing feels truly right either. So this brings us to a huge idea. Your life doesn't change because of some single grand decision. Nope, it's decided quietly by the tiny things you do every single day. Your future isn't being built in years, it's being built minute by minute. Just look at the two paths our lives can take. Over on the left, you've got the autopilot life. You're just reacting to things, you're constantly distracted, and you feel busy but never productive. And on the right, the intentional life. This is where you're directing your focus, you feel aligned with your goals, and you're actually fulfilled. The only thing separating these two? The quality of your habits. So how in the world do we make that jump from one to the other? Well, it all starts right where the day starts. If you want to shift from autopilot to intentional, you absolutely have to win the morning. You have to take control from that very first minute. And it all begins with this number 10. The first habit is so simple, but trust me, it's not easy. For the first 10 minutes after you wake up, you're going to make a choice, a powerful one. You are not going to touch your phone. The process is dead simple. For those 10 minutes, no scrolling, no news, no noise, just you. You drink a glass of water, to wake up your body and your brain, and then you ask yourself one incredibly important question. What actually matters for me today? That single act yanks your brain out of reaction mode and puts it squarely in the driver's seat. You're reminding yourself that this day belongs to you. Okay, so our next habit is designed for those moments when you just feel stuck. You're foggy, you can't get started. And guess what? It doesn't take an hour or even 10 minutes. All you need is 2.
The science behind this is pretty cool. It's this idea that your brain actually follows your body. So when you physically move, even just stretching or doing a few jumping jacks or walking around the room, you're basically bypassing all that mental resistance that's keeping you glued to your chair. It's a fantastic little hack for breaking inertia.
All right, so you've got clarity from the morning, you've got some momentum from moving. Now it's time to protect your focus during the day. This is where the real work gets done. Let's be honest about something. The reason we're all so tired isn't because we're doing too much. We're tired because we're trying to do too many things at once. Multitasking, it's a total myth that just fractures our attention and completely drains our batteries. So the answer is this habit of deep work. You pick just one important task. You give it 1 hour of your complete undivided attention, and you allow absolutely zero distractions. Phone off, tabs closed. This is so rare in our world today, and that's exactly what makes it so incredibly valuable. It's how you do your absolute best work. Now, this next habit is all about managing your energy. And it's not just about what you do, it's about who you're around. See, your environment shapes you way more than your willpower ever will. So here's the habit. For every draining interaction you have, that one negative coworker or frustrating meeting, you intentionally go find 5 positive ones. It's about consciously designing your social world to lift you up, not drag you down. So let's talk about our evenings. If your mornings set the direction for the day, then your evenings and your weekends, they decide who you become over the long haul. This is where that quiet, long-term growth really happens. You ever have that feeling of being tired but wired? That's your nervous system just totally fried from looking at screens all day. The digital sunset is the perfect antidote. 1 hour before you plan to go to sleep, all screens go off. This isn't wasted time, believe me. This is reclaim time. It's space for your brain to finally breathe and process the day. And then, once a week, it's time to zoom out with a quick 30-minute reset. First, you look back. What went well? What totally drained you? Just acknowledge it. Then, you look forward. Choose your top 3 priorities for the week ahead. And finally, you clean your space. Just a quick tidy up creates this amazing sense of external order that reinforces the internal clarity you're building. It's the bridge from living on autopilot to actually living on purpose. We've covered habits for the morning, for the day, for the evening. But there is one last, final shift in your perspective that changes how you see every single choice you make. It's really just the question. A little tool you can pull out anytime you feel lost or overwhelmed, or you're just getting caught up in stuff that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. And here it is. This is the ultimate filter for your life. Asking yourself, if I were 80 years old, looking back, would this really matter? It just cuts through all the ego, all the comparison, all the daily noise. It forces you to connect with what is actually precious and truly important in the long run. And it's so important to get this straight. This is not a quick fix. None of these habits are going to change your life tomorrow. But if you practice them consistently, over months and then over years, they will quietly and completely transform who you are. So in the end, it's not about knowing all 10 of these habits. It's about choosing one. Just one. So the real question is, which one will you start with today? Because your future self is watching and quietly hoping that this time you'll choose a little differently.